Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the 8th edition of the RISE World Summit 2021. I'm greeting you with three different greetings. It's because for the first time ever, we are actually having this wonderful summit across 8 time zones and 40 countries. We've gone through a tumultuous last year, which has thrown up a lot of challenges. But the good thing about challenges is that the human mind is always challenged to look out for innovations and ways out. And I think the RISE Summit actually embodies this very spirit of innovation, of collaboration, and of breakthroughs. And that is what we're going to do again this year at the RISE World Summit 2021. What are you in for? You're in for 36 hours of absolutely collaborative conversations, breakthrough interactions, which will find hopefully solutions to a number of issues that are plaguing the world right now. Good morning again. My name is Naresh Karmalkar. I'm the host for this morning, the opening session. And it is my pleasure once again to welcome you all to the 8th edition of the RISE World Summit, the first virtual one ever, as I said. Like I said, we're excited because we have participants from about 40 countries, making it truly global. The next 2 days are going to be full of learning and dialogue, hopefully ending in the beginning of new collaborations. A little bit about the RISE World Summit 2021. The RISE World Summit 2021 is based on the universal RISE values: responsible, inclusive, sustainable, and eco-friendly. That brings together the 4 key stakeholder groups: government, industry, civil society, and academia, to collaborate around challenges the world faces. I think you will agree this is an apt theme for what we've just gone through. Beyond an Unconference, it is a very unique platform with no panels and no presentations. Into our 8th edition, it is a very distinctive concept of a relay conversation across time zones, hosted by partners from Japan, Singapore, India, Germany, Netherlands, Sweden, UK, and USA, and participants from over 40 countries. Now, a little bit about the theme. The theme, Beyond Boundaries, Search Unity, Find Opportunity, is based on the backdrop of the pandemic, with the aim to search for interventions and innovations that will truly make this the decade of action to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. The Office of the Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India, PSA, and the Lewis Institute and Babson International Innovation Lab, USA, are our knowledge partners this year. We are also hosting the RISE Citizen Awards and the Glenmark Nutrition Awards in partnership with World Food Programme, India. Participate in roundtables, workshops, chat tables for breakthrough interactions and outcome-driven deliberations in partnership with UNICEF, the Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India, the Swedish Consulate in Mumbai, World Food Programme, Glenmark Foundation, Japan Consulate in Mumbai, World Benchmarking Alliance, Center for Business and Poverty, Oxford, Krishak Mitra Agro, Thomson Reuters Foundation, SEED, Babson Innovation Lab, Cox, and more. Check out the Enterprise Showcase, Innovation Corner, Earth Tours, and more to discover and share. To learn more about the RISE World Summit, of course, that will be held across 8 time zones, please visit www.risesummit.in. And without saying too much now, let me give you some basic housekeeping rules, which you can possibly see on the slide. Ashwini, can we bring up the slide, if you don't mind? In any ways, you will see.
1 second.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the success of every RISE Summit so far has been the discussions, the deliberation, the dialogues that have taken place across sectors. And it's no different, even if it's in a virtual format. So what I would really advise you to do, and most of you are no stranger to this, is absolutely participate, interact, deliberate. This is the first one. Please check your connections. We're Wi-Fi, audio, and video, and be ready for this meeting. Next one, please. Yes, this is. We will be recording the summit, obviously, so that we can archive it and make it available for you through the days and months to come. Next. Yes, if you wish to ask a question or if you wish to participate in any of the sessions so far.
Just sending it to you. Yes, just again.
Ashwini, can you mute yourself, please? Yeah. Yes, you can just raise your hand. There is an icon at the bottom of your screen which says raise hand. You can raise your hand and we will connect with you in case you need to share something, and we can give you an opportunity to do that. Yes, please keep yourself muted at all times unless it's specially asked by the host to unmute. You also have, of course, you also have the chat window, which I think is going to be most used through these 2 days. We'll encourage all participants to use the chat window, to literally to express what you feel about what's going on. If you have an opinion, you have a question, you want to just share something, you're enjoying something, or something resonates with you, the chat box is going to be your window to connect with all our wonderful participants virtually. There's also a Q&A icon out there, which you can see to the left of your chat window. A Q&A icon is if you have a specific questions you want to pose to the panelists. That would be the place. It will not be possible for us to go through all the hundreds of chat messages, but if you have a question, you can put it up on the Q&A box, and we will be getting back to you on that, and that goes for any session. We will be having this webinar format, if I'm not mistaken, through most of our sessions, though some would be in the Zoom meeting format, as the case would be, and our moderators in every session would be guiding you as to how to interact through the session. So without further ado, it's time for me to invite none other than Karan Shiva, the Chief Impact Officer of IDBRO, and truly the force behind this RISE Summit for the last 8 years, to tell us a little bit more about this event, and especially this year's special event. Over to you, Karan.
Thank you so very much, Naresh, and welcome to each and every person today, not only those who are right here in the call with us, but also those who are watching outside. The values we believe in drive our thoughts and action, and when they are mirrored in others, it opens the way to relate and collaborate with them. So it is the values we share that lead us to create shared value, a concept that has captured the attention of many and yet has not been leveraged the way it should be. However, values can be divisive, especially when they are based on context, age, gender, attributes and hierarchy, past history, and current geography, culture, and religion. Hence, we need a set of values that can be universal, new age, and yet future ready. I truly believe that the RISE values, the foundation on which the RISE World Summit exists, is those kind of values that are universal, that would be acceptable to all, that would take us forward for our new generations to come. I'm also confident that the RISE values can be identified by every living person on the planet, in varying degrees, of course. A person with disability can very much be inclusive by reading to a senior citizen who is ill. A person with limited means can be very sustainable through the practices that they follow. And so the RISE values are all-encompassing and ready for all of us to really adopt and adapt as we require in our situations. The pandemic, the year past, has been that kind of a situation that has shown us that the power of one, what a person can do and what every single person can do and what every person can find to do, because we all have a role to play in making our world a better place. The year past has been quite difficult for many and tremendously difficult for a lot more than that. And yet we have seen people come through that in flying colors, adapting and using their own resources at times to help so many others. And I think that has really taught us a lesson. We at RISE Infinity Foundation and IDBRO, together in less than 100 days, had reached almost 500,000 people. And later, with the support of the UNICEF convened Jeevan Rath program, reached out to almost double that numbers in the months following. The people and partners that make up this RISE Summit are those we believe share these same values with us. And together, we are here to multiply our impact. But as Cheryl Kisser, the Executive Director of the Lewis Institute and the Babson Social Innovation Lab always says, we don't need breakthrough innovations, we need breakthrough interactions. And I truly believe that that is the basis of what we have been following for the past 7 years since she first gave us permission to use this. And so it was only natural that when we turned digital, she was the first person we turned to and said, could you be our partner? We are truly proud to have the Lewis Institute and the Papson Social Innovation Lab as our knowledge partner this year, just as we do it every year with an academic partner. Another partner who has been with us in this journey of the past 5 years, right since the day one, has been Glenmark Foundation. And they have really shown not just us, but everyone, what an event could be used as. It is for stakeholder engagement, how that kind of a summit like the RISE Summit can actually help you to widen your circles of engagement to create centers of impact. And with every single year, we have grown our projects, grown our initiatives, grown our reach, grown our ideas, so that we have been able to really convert them and multiply it back together. And that is because of our very simple no panels and no presentations policy. Not because we don't believe in that, not because we don't use panels and presentations, but because the objective of the RISE World Summit is partnerships. And that is really what we drive through all our breakthrough conversations. I would urge you to spare a few moments to study our agenda. It is the result of visionary partners, committed individuals, and a very passionate team. The SDGs form the backdrop to all of our conversations because we believe that is the canvas that can really bring all of us together and help us make a better world and a greener planet. It is no coincidence that I believe that opportunity has the word unity in it. And I would wish that all of us really leave every opportunity we have by exploring this diverse and cross-cutting convergence of people from across the world. And with 36 hours of continuous programming and multiple tracks, I am sure you will find each and every one of you more than enough to move beyond boundaries, search unity, and find opportunities. As the RISE World Summit so aptly starts at the beginning of the decade of action to achieve the SDGs, I welcome each and every one of you together to join me in this pledge to make sure we all achieve the SDGs and Sustainable Development Goals. Because together we all want a better world and a greener planet. Thank you.
Thank you, Karan, for that wonderful welcome address. Truly, breakthrough interactions is what we are looking for in these action-packed 2 days, 36 hours actually. Well, we will now move to the most important and eagerly awaited part of the RISE Summit, the release of the RISE values. And to release the first value, responsible, I would like to invite Dr. Yasmin Ali Haq to do the honors. And to introduce Dr. Yasmin Ali Haq, do we have our Board of Advisors representative, Walter Vieira, in the room? Ashwini, do we have...
Naresh, Walter is still trying to join in. Mr. Vieira is still trying to join in. He's facing some technical issues.
Okay, I think Mr. Vieira is having some technical difficulty signing in. To take his place, may I request Karan Shaiva once again to do the honors? Can you please introduce Dr. Yasmin Ali Haq?
Absolutely. It is absolutely my pleasure to introduce Dr. Yasmin Ali Haq, your UNICEF representative to India since July 2017. With over 24 years of service in UNICEF, she started her career in Bangladesh. Dr. Yasmin has held leadership roles in the Office of Emergency Programs, South Sudan, Ghana, and Sri Lanka. Dr. Haq's leadership and professional experience spans over a wide range of fields, including policy analysis, strategic planning for women and child rights, child-centric development programming, and large-scale responses for children in humanitarian crisis. Yasmin is a strong believer in the power of collaborative action in accelerating results for children. And if she had not sent me a specific picture to use for her profile, I would have loved to pick one of the many beautiful pictures I've seen of you with children in your arms. It is just an amazing sight. Dr. Yasmin, it's absolutely our pleasure. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Karen. And yes, that's one of the big, what shall I say, motivations of the work I do, that I get to interact with children and women and communities. Sadly, that hasn't been the case for the past year or two. And it really makes us focus more, or push ourselves to focus more on the reason that we are all together. First of all, let me please greet my fellow speakers, Professor Raghavan, Mr. Behar, and Ms. Shah. Really, it's an honor for me to be with you on in this inaugural session of the Global Rise Summit. And when we start looking at it, designed to begin in the land of the rising sun in Japan, and focus on some key universal values that of responsible, inclusive, sustainable, and eco-friendly. And the principles that this summit has to connect, communicate, and collaborate, truly it's really timely. Plus, it is for UNICEF a big requirement to be part of this, I would say. So it's our obligation to be part of it. The theme for the year, Beyond Boundaries, Search Unity, Find Opportunity. In the backdrop of the pandemic, the aim to search for such innovations and what works, and learn or fail fast and learn quick is really important, which will take us to the decade of action and really bear us in good stead as we look into how we achieve the SDGs, even in a crisis that has hit the whole world. Adoption of the SDGs has, of course, provided the much needed momentum to push the global community to take stock of and address some of the key developmental challenges that we face. We all acknowledge the significant progress that has been made. Still, there is so much more that needs to be done, and faster. The pace is not what it needs to be. We have to find a way of accelerating. So in 2020, when we, as the UN, launched the Decade of Action, calling upon member states to accelerate sustainable solutions to the world's biggest challenges, whether it's poverty, gender, climate change, inequality, closing the finance gap, the action campaign really aims to mobilize people everywhere to demand that urgency and ambition, and to really find not just ideas, but solutions that prove to be beneficial to people, the people that we are here to serve. Now, COVID, of course, has made this even more urgent, because we have been impacted in all the goal areas. We know something that began as a health crisis has now become a human crisis, a rights crisis for many of our constituents. And it's not just that we have to regain the achievements we made, we have to push further, which means our delta has to be much higher, and the acceleration needs to be something we all come behind. Now, in the UN, we have adopted a three-pronged approach to mitigate the impact. The first is really providing an international coordination and operational support at not just the global level, but the regional and the country level, supporting the scaling up of country preparedness and response plans. A large-scale coordinated and comprehensive health response has been guided by WHO, UNICEF, and many other partners around the summit today will have been playing a pivotal role in ensuring that children and women remain at the forefront and the center of the emergency response. The second is a very wide-ranging effort to safeguard lives and livelihoods by focusing on keeping vital services accessible, businesses solvent, and public services continue to deliver with the human rights at the forefront. And how do we do it? Through that humanitarian support to the hardest hit population in the most vulnerable countries that have been listed in the Global Humanitarian Response Plan, as well as the support to more than 120 countries for an immediate socioeconomic response, which is guided by the UN Development System Framework. The third focus has been really on a transformative recovery process, that we not wait till the pandemic is over, but we start with that recovery even while we are battling the pandemic. And this will really require us to think at systems. Where did we see the fracture in the systems? What is needed so that a post-COVID world really is addressing the underlying fragilities and identifying and making use of the really transformative change that we have seen in some of the most resilient communities and economies. Emerging from this crisis, of course, always there is an opportunity to remind ourselves to address the climate crisis, to address equities, to look at the gaps in social protection systems, and really to see where we have seen rights and justice being exposed and exacerbated. So it's really important that we focus on that. The call to transition to renewable energy, sustainable food systems also is so important that we deliver consistently, effectively, and universally, leaving no one behind. Now, leveraging the decade of evaluation and action campaign, and that's where responsibility comes in, that we work in a responsible manner and we really take stock of what is working, evaluating ourselves, adapting to it, transforming what we are doing collectively. And that's where the strong national evaluation systems are critical to developing, to delivering on the SDGs. Because unless we plan where we're going and we do an honest and candid check on where we are, we will not be able to learn adequately on where, how we get to the target that we have set for ourselves. The Global Sustainable Development Report of 2019 highlights key accelerators that are needed to achieve the SDGs. And among these, very clearly the link between evaluation and SDGs, so the better data, evidence, and there are robust plans to monitor progress have come as some of the critical ingredients for that. It also recommends governments to, among other things, incorporate targets and indicators to their national plans and budgets and strengthen systems for monitoring and evaluation. And I think really this forum here today brings together all elements of civil society, UN, NGO, private sector, government, all the stakeholders who are academia, I should not forget to mention them, that we need all stakeholders to come together to really have a strong and a shared recognition of evaluation being a critical ingredient to get to our goals, to mobilize commitments, and to invest in systems. So aligned with the SDG 17, the campaign also aims to revitalize global engagement and commitment on national evaluation capacities and promotes meaningful engagement of young people in evaluation and really to build their capacities as emerging evaluators to drive sustainable development. Because it's with them that we get new ideas. It's with them that we will see our ambition skyrocketing. And we have to involve the young people in this momentum. So what would we need to do for that? Firstly, of course, building the capacity of evaluation at all levels. Scientific innovations also need to be leveraged to make evaluations more efficient. And SDGs have to be made locally relevant. So if I can give you an example, we do have an ongoing collaboration of the UN with the Development Monitoring and Evaluation Office, DMEO, at Niti Aayog. And they have the mandate to design, conduct, and commission monitoring and evaluation activities for line ministries of the Government of India, with the aim to strengthen the success of program delivery. And we are collaborating on their mission to strengthen the ecosystem and also to build a robust and vibrant monitoring and evaluation community in India. The second thing that we need to be doing is making evaluation more gender responsive. There is a strong need to really look at how whatever the inputs that are being provided, the outputs that we're looking at, are they making a difference in the lives of women and the girls? Because we know there is a huge gap, there is a huge inequity between men and women. globally, and of course also in India. So it's really important that whatever evaluation we undertake is gender responsive. The third area I would say that needs to be done is the use of technological advances with caution, not seeing technology as the solution to everything, but to really use the technological solutions to address the problems or the methodologies that we are looking into. We have to be cognizant of the ethical concerns that arise of possible infringement of privacy, and how we use technology responsibly and with caution. The fourth area I think we need to focus on is that we need to look beyond assessment. The evaluation of community needs and the typical assessments that we are engaged in does need to promote systemic thinking and capture the systemic behavior changes. The assessments need to be supplemented by more strategic, forward-looking evaluations that will tell us the solutions that we are looking for. And the key is that we make sure to truly capture and represent the views and voices of the people we are accountable to, especially the most vulnerable. For us in UNICEF, if I am to give an example, it's about involving children and young people in the design, implementation, and analysis of the results of evaluation. And I know it takes time and it takes extra effort, but with that extra step, we will get definitely much more significant findings. The final area I'd focus on is, of course, climate change, which is capable of derailing all pursuits towards the SDGs. And we need to look at issues of environment not in isolation, but how they are linked with other processes, and how, whether it's health or education or water and sanitation or agriculture, that we really focus on how climate change needs to be addressed in all these sectors. So in closing, I think just to hope that countries do not depend on intensive resource use or follow paths that exacerbate inequities and deprivations, that the knowledge that emanates from good quality evaluation allows for identification of critical pathways that break the pattern that we are trying to break, and really highlight the examples where it has worked, but also acknowledge the failures where it hasn't, so that we don't repeat those. In short, I would really urge for the evaluation community to be a strong and integral part of any solution that we look at, and keep it core to our value system. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Yasmin, for your thoughts. I think you really brought out the requirement, the need for responsibility and accountability while talking about SDGs. And to formally release the RISE value, maybe ask the IDOBRO team to show us the RISE value, responsible. Thank you again, Dr. Yasmin. From the R value, responsible, we now move to the I value, which is inclusive. And for this, I would like to invite Professor K. Vijayaraghavan, Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India, to do the honors. And to introduce Professor Vijayaraghavan, I would like to call upon our Board of Advisor member, the veteran journalist and the Dean of St. Paul's Institute of Communication Education, none other than Ms. Carol Andrade.
Good morning, and on this cool day in Mumbai, it is both honor and privilege to be tasked with introducing Professor Vijayaraghavan, a man of many accomplishments, achievements, and awards, including the Padma Shri. As Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India, Professor Raghavan has a doctorate in molecular biology and a scientific temperament to match. And it's been very difficult to cherry pick what I should mention over here, because his list of achievements is truly humbling. He has been instrumental in establishing the National Center for Biological Sciences in Bengaluru, and is currently serving as Professor Emeritus. And of special note is the way he has led major initiatives, including the 9 national missions and the PM Science, Technology and Innovation Advisory Council, which has had such a significant impact upon the scientific and technological landscape of the country. Dr. Raghavan.
Thank you very much, Ms. Carol Andrade, and thank you all for having me here. It's a great pleasure and honor, and it was wonderful to listen to Ms. Yasmin Haq about sustainable development goals and responsibility. I will try to address the topic of inclusiveness by very briefly addressing 5 different points, and they are how disparities have narrowed across the world and how they've also risen over time. What does this mean? The second point about inclusiveness relates to the consequences of climate change. The third, environment. The fourth, the nature of our habitats. And the fifth one, how the knowledge economy is also changing our concept of inclusiveness. So let's go to the first, how disparities have narrowed and also risen. If you look at life expectancy in India at the time of independence, it was about 30 years of age. And now it is nearing, at 75 years after independence, it will soon reach about 75 years in a few years' time. So this is dramatic. And this is, of course, resulted because of childhood vaccination, better nutrition, better livelihood, and many, many other aspects. So one can say that disparities have narrowed, and this is true all over the world. At the same time, the changing economies of the world today have increased disparities in very difficult manners. And this has started from the time of the first industrial revolution, where the mechanization of the means of production resulted in great prosperity, but this prosperity was distributed unevenly throughout the world. Interestingly, in some countries, particularly the Scandinavian countries, even distribution and even creation of wealth was extraordinarily valuable. But many aspects of that too resulted from the use of natural resources from all over the world. In other words, the lowering of disparity through the Industrial Revolution have been through the generation of resources, either human or material, from societies outside the ones where these disparities have been lowered. So this poses an enormous challenge. How do we lower disparities across the world in a situation where we don't have the option of reducing disparities in some societies and increasing them in the other? So this is a big challenge we have today. Now, as a consequence of various industrial revolutions and the way we have grown, we have also changed the planet inexorably, so that the consequences of changing climate are being felt everywhere. And this is seen in the increased greenhouse gases, rising sea levels, for example, changing global temperatures. This is affecting people across the world in unpredictable ways. It's not only those in low-lying areas who are affected. It's not only those who are in low and middle income countries are affected. People across the world will be affected. And because of this, those who are wealthy will have opportunities to mitigate on themselves the consequences of climate change. And again, disparities and inclusiveness disparities will rise and inclusiveness will decrease. In this growth trajectory, we have also not attended to the environment sufficiently. India is unusual, actually, given the large amount of its biodiversity in the Western Ghats and in the Northeastern Himalayas in particular, that overall, despite the dramatic pressures of growth and sustainable development being required, we have not damaged our environment as much as has happened in many other places in the world. Which is not to say that the environment is not important here or elsewhere. We need to see how environment can be restored and biodiversity can be increased, because it's not just something which is a matter of beauty or something of wonderment or a responsibility, but our lives and our livelihood are intertwined very closely with the environment. So this is a big challenge all over the world. Next is our nature of our habitats. while increasing the availability of food and shelter, we have forgotten how qualitatively habitats have to be welcoming and increase social awareness and social interactions. Our cities have become extremely crowded and packed in a manner where culture, art, and leisure are not available to a very large number of people. Again, this inclusiveness needs to be addressed. Finally, we have upon us with great speed and acceleration the knowledge economy. The rise of artificial intelligence is the consequence of our ability through cultural evolution to analyze data better and better, faster and faster, and have better storage. This is extremely valuable in our decision making in multiple aspects, but it also changes a situation which is already there for the worse. Knowledge has always been power, and when people who don't have knowledge don't have power, they don't have access to decision making in their societies, even in democratic societies. So knowledge is very important to be widespread in a democratic society. When knowledge is so constrained and localized in increasingly digital societies, then a very large number of people are going to be told what is good for them. Perhaps even what they're told is likely to be good for them, but they don't have enough participation in decision making. What is the solution to this? Well, it's a very complex problem, and there are many, many different ways of addressing it. But India, with its large and young demography, have to take leadership in these areas. Key to this is access to knowledge, and therefore we must empower and enable hundreds of millions of our young people to be able to access knowledge across all areas of science, technology, humanities, and everything else. For this to happen, every bit of knowledge needs to be available to everyone. Access is necessary, both in English and in their own native language. This allows them to link creative thinking and rootedness, which is only possible through one's own language, and also use English, which is a global language, so that one can connect to provide solutions. So if you want to achieve all these sustainable development goals, I would say access to knowledge and access to opportunity is the key for this. Everything else follows. Once this is done, people will go to their schools, their colleges, they take on various kinds of opportunities, and all these matters which we've discussed so far, how disparities have increased despite industrialization, climate change, environment, and the nature of our habitats can be addressed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vijay Raghavan. I think you truly did justice to the inclusive value, really exploring a wide swathe of ramifications of this very, very important RISE value. May I now ask the IDBRO team to actually show us the I value, inclusive. Thank you, Professor Vijay Raghavan, for doing the honors.
Thank you.
So after the R and the I values, responsible and inclusive, we now move to the third value, the S value, sustainable. And to release this value, we have none other than Ambassador Gideon Behar, Israel's Special Envoy for Climate Change and Sustainability. And to introduce Mr. Behar, we have none other than our representative of our Board of Advisors, Ms. Paula Marivala, the founder co-president of Stanford Angels and Entrepreneurs India, and the MD of Seed Fund Advisors, Ms. Marivala.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. And what a pleasure it is to release these wonderful values with such thought leaders. To release the important value of sustainability, we have with us Ambassador Gideon Behar, who, as it was just said, is Israel's Special Envoy for Climate Change and Sustainability. An expert in the field of climate change and international relations, he teaches a university course on the impacts of climate change on international relations and publishes regularly in the press on such topics as climate change, environment, and others. He's a highly sought after lecturer on these topics. A career diplomat with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs since 1994, he's occupied many posts, among them head of the Bureau of Africa, Special Envoy for African Affairs, Director for the Department of Holocaust Remembrance and Combating Anti-Semitism, Ambassador to Senegal, Deputy Director of the Jordan, Syria, and Lebanon Department, and Deputy Head of Israel's diplomatic mission in Tunisia. So he brings a wealth of experience across the world and clearly a thought leader in the field of climate change and sustainability. So it's my privilege to welcome him to release this crucial value at the RISE Summit today. Over to you, Ambassador.
Thank you very much. Shalom, namaste from the Holy Land. It is indeed a real pleasure to be here with you this morning in Israel, quite early in the morning. I would like to thank the organizers for this very amazing summit and this very amazing event. I was asked to speak about sustainability and what sustainability means to me. So I've divided my response to 3 levels. First, what is sustainability? What does sustainability mean for me on the personal level, as a person, as Gideon? The second one is what sustainability means for my job. As my job is a special envoy for climate change and sustainability, so what it means for me professionally. And the third level that I would like to touch upon is the international one. What does sustainability mean for us on the international level? So let me start by a quote that I really love from Mahatma Gandhi, who said, be the change you want to see in the world. And if I want to see a sustainable world, I have personally to act and to behave in a sustainable way. This is crucial. You cannot do something outside yourself if you do not do the inside work, if you do not do the internal work needed for you to be able to project your messages and ideas outside. So for me, sustainability means, first of all, to consume less, to buy less, to live a simple life, a humble life, and to try to consume less the resources of our planet. It means for me to travel in a public bus. Mostly, this is the way how I go from my home to my office. I take the bus. Try to do it as much as possible. I grow my own vegetables in my garden and I enjoy them, and I enjoy fresh vegetables and good nutritional vitamins every day. I try to educate my kids, my family, my friends, the people around me about sustainability, about the importance of nature, our environment, etc. I'm also a vegan. A vegan also because I understand the impact, the heavy toll and the very heavy impact of eating meat, dairy products, etc. on the environment. And I say that if I want to save the world and I want to have a more sustainable future for my children, I need to take it also to my plate and to my nutrition. So this is also another thing. I also do compost. I compost the remains of the dishes here and other things. I try to do all of that together. So this is on the personal level. On the professional level, I try to promote the ideas of sustainability within the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I'm among the first people in the ministry who is pushing toward this direction, and I try to promote the idea that sustainability, that the environment and the nature have also place in the decisions-making processes of the ministry, that we cannot just talk about economy, politics, etc., but we should also consider the needs of the environment, the needs of the nature, because they are also our needs. I try also to do my utmost to share experience, knowledge, technology from Israel in a field that we call climate innovation, and there are a few areas where there is very good expertise in Israel, like agriculture, like water, renewable energies, storage of energy, reforestation, research and production of alternative proteins, etc. And in our ministry, we have an agency which is called Mashav, Israel's International Aid Agency, which works a lot all over the world, already more than 60 years, in sharing experience, knowledge, and technologies. In India, we have vast experience and vast cooperation in these fields, and currently there are about 30 centers of agricultural innovation and excellency done by Mashav with the Indian government in different places. So an important aspect of our work, of my work as a special envoy, is really to share know-how and practical solutions. I think that the word solutions came up a few times before, and I think that we really need solutions. On the international level, I think that sustainability means many of the things that the previous speakers have rightly mentioned. The SDGs, preventing climate change, stopping desertification, stopping the water crisis. We are living amidst of many or multiple environmental crises. It is not only climate change or climate crisis. There is also a vast process of desertification all over the world, in the Middle East, in North America, in the Indian subcontinent and elsewhere. There is lack of water in many places. We are living amidst the 6th extinction of animals, of plants, etc. The scientists, the UN reports are telling us that 1 million species of living forms are in a danger of extinction among about roughly 8 million forms of life that exist today. So we really need to preserve our biodiversity. We really need to preserve our resources. And in order to do that, we need to change our behavior. Nature is there. Nature, in that case, is the victim, is not the offender. We need to change our behavior. I will just say a few more words about it, and I will conclude. I think that one important strategy is a circular economy that contributes to the environment, which is sustainable, which can prolong our existence. I think also sustainability means zero hunger, and I repeat now the SDGs, zero hunger, zero poverty, water for everyone, electricity for everyone, education for everyone. If we do not eradicate these inequalities among us humans, our impact on the environment will continue to take a heavy toll from nature and environment. So sustainability is also for us human beings. So to close my remarks, I want to say that for me, sustainability means that we have to be good to one another and good to the nature. And I've started with a quote from Mahatma Gandhi, so let me repeat another quote of his, which I really admire. I admire him. He said that there is enough on earth for everybody's need, but not for everyone's greed. So thank you very much, Shukriya, and thank you again for this very wonderful event.
Thank you, Ambassador Bihar. Truly amazing insight into the whole value of sustainability. Truly, like we say, like you said, like you need to take care of ourselves and you take care of nature. And it's only when we have this holistic approach in our thinking and our practices that we can truly expect a world that is sustainable. May we have the IDOBRO team formally release the sustainable value? Thank you, Anthony. And thank you once again, Ambassador Behar, for releasing the sustainable value. And after responsible, inclusive, and sustainable, we finally move to the E value, which is the eco-friendly value. And to do the honors, may I invite Ms. Vidya Shah, the chairperson and CEO of Edelgive Foundation. And to introduce Ms. Shah, I would like to call upon a member of the Board of Advisors, Ms. Anuradha Bhavnani, advisor, mentor, consultant, and angel investor. Over to Ms. Bhavnani.
Thank you very much, Naresh. And this is indeed extremely encouraging to hear all the speakers so far and thought leaders. Let me introduce Vidya Shah, who is truly a pioneer, a very good strategic leader, as well as somebody who has worked for a long time and is committed to the development of India. Vidya is currently, as shared by Naresh, the chairperson and CEO of the Edelgive Foundation. She has been a pioneer in creating models of change at Edelgive Foundation for funding, capacity building, and fundraising for NGO. She is currently also a director and a board member with several investing and advisory firms. Vidya really, I think, over the years, I've interacted with Vidya many times, and I do always believe that the bit that reaches out to me is her ability to just collaborate and reach out to create that ecosystem. So this value of E is beyond just eco-friendly, is to what Vidya has done as a part of her career, is creating an ecosystem of the for-profits and the not-for-profits to come together to really help the development goals for India. So over to you, Vidya, and take this forward.
Thank you so much, Anuradha. Thank you so much for having me. It is my absolute pleasure and honor to be able to join this esteemed group of speakers at the Global RISE Summit 2021. I'm also especially honored that I have the opportunity to release this last value on ecosystem eco-friendly, because this is also the very base with which, as Anuradha kindly referred to, that I began Edelgive Foundation, or set up Edelgive Foundation about 13 years ago as the philanthropic initiative of the Edelweiss Group. Today, as the world stands at a very distinct point in time, we have all had the opportunity to pause and to rethink the way in which we live our lives, not just in terms of our consumption patterns, but also in terms of the accountability we hold to the environment in which we live and in which we operate. For businesses in particular, this accountability has been a facet that has been deliberated upon, it has been mandated, executed across the globe, and particularly in India as CSR, and an increasing emphasis as ESG. This sees its roots from the economic theory of triple bottom line, which believes that companies should commit to focusing as much on social and environmental concerns as they do on profits. The triple bottom line theory posits that instead of one bottom line, there should be three: profit, people, and the planet. While traditionally we have seen a lot of companies adhere to this approach, it is only in the recent decade that CSR has transformed into a strategic activity for businesses to create targeted interventions and also to be accountable for their impact. In India, the mandated CSR Act of 2013 changed this dynamic even further. And most companies, while hesitant at first, have now adhered to creating strategic interventions for their CSR compliance. This focus on building an eco-friendly industry environment is critical for many reasons. industry, government, and civil society, in a sense, what Rohini Nilekani calls the Samaj, Bazaar, and Sarkar, they are all in intersection with each other. They're all constantly interacting with each other. And it is the intersection of these pillars that creates social development. So all stakeholders need to come together and develop on this theme further. Businesses today are also more complex. The types of products and services that are being produced are impacting our environments at a larger scale, which in turn is impacting our communities and societies. In January 2020, as COVID-19 began to threaten the world, and globally we saw countries go into indefinite lockdowns, the impact on lives and livelihood has been tremendous. And the pressure on the bottom of the pyramid, migrant workers, slum dwellers, daily wage workers, and even domestic help, has been very eminent. As businesses and governments, for businesses and governments, the pressure for action and response has indeed been very intense. And as always, at Edelgave, we found ourselves questioning our purpose once again. And we also came back to the basics of people, planet, and purpose as we started reassessing our impact. So I think in conclusion, there is a lot of, I think, positive pressure on industry, on government, on citizens like us to take action very quickly. For corporates, the pressure is not just coming from regulation. It is also coming from an emphasis on good behavior through ESG standards. And the great thing is that funds, the large institutional investors are really pushing this as well. And so in a sense, I think as we move towards a greater awareness and a greater demand from all stakeholders for good behavior from all elements of Samaj, Bazaar, and Sarkar, I start becoming a lot more hopeful about the change we can all create together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Shah. That is truly a great reminder of the very, very critical role that the environment plays in each of our lives and the world that we live in. And truly, it's a value that we hold very dear. So thank you so much for actually unveiling the fourth value, the E value, eco-friendly. Anthony, may we have an official unveiling of the same? Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, we had all our four values, responsible, inclusive, sustainable, eco-friendly, being released by our wonderful delegates. Before we go ahead, may I request all our four delegates, Ambassador Behar, Professor Vijay Raghavan, Dr. Yasmin, and Ms. Vidya Shah, as well as Karan Shaiva, Carol Andrade from our Board of Advisors, Ms. Paula Mariwala, as well as Ms. Anuradha Bhavnani, to kindly please stay back for a minute while we try to get a group photograph. Anthony, can we spotlight all of them, please? Thank you so much. Thank you so much to all our delegates and to our Board of Advisors for doing the honors and setting this wonderful summit off to such a great start this morning. Well, ladies and gentlemen, tighten your seatbelts because we have a big surprise waiting for you. We have a message from none other than Ms. Sherry Blair, former UK First Lady, CBE, and the founder of the Sherry Blair Foundation. And to introduce Ms. Blair, we have none other than Mr. Vineet Patni, former president of Bajaj Alliance Life Insurance and angel investor, and a member of our steering committee. Over to Mr. Patni.
Thank you so much, Naresh. It's an honor and privilege to introduce Ms. Cherry Blair, former UK First Lady, leading lawyer, writer, and committed campaigner for women's rights. Ms. Cherry Blair set up the Cherry Blair Foundation for Women in 2008 to help women build small and growing businesses in developing and emerging markets. so that they can contribute to their economies and have stronger voice in their societies. The Cherry Blair Foundation has been our partner since over 8 years now, and more than 60 women entrepreneurs have benefited through the mentoring they have provided. We are so pleased to share her message for the summit on this occasion. Thank you so much. Can we have a message, please?
Thank you very much for welcoming me to the RISE World Summit 2021, a unique platform organized by our partners, IDOBRO. The RISE values of being responsible, inclusive, sustainable and eco-friendly have never been more important to the global economy than now, at a time when enterprises big and small are suffering from the effects of a worldwide pandemic. The Centre for Monitoring Indian Economy estimates that recently unemployed men are currently 23.5% more likely to resume employment than unemployed women in India. This exacerbates the existing downward trend on women's employment in India, where women's participation in the labour force has declined continuously over the last 15 years. However, organisations like IDOBRO are doing crucial work to counter this by advancing women's entrepreneurship, closing the gender gap, and turning this loss into growth. We are so proud to collaborate with them on this. For Women's Global Cross-Border Mentoring Women in Business program, we have worked to pair hundreds of women entrepreneurs across India with professional mentors around the world so that they can grow their business, skills and confidence, and develop their businesses. My foundation and I have enjoyed the privilege of working alongside IDOBRO for the past 8 years and look forward to continuing to work side by side in the future. Enjoy the summit.
Thank you, Mr. Patni. That was truly an encouraging message from Ms. Blair, who's actually been a great partner with IDOBRO, especially through the Cherry Blair scholarships and partnership of women entrepreneurship. And now we come to a very important part of this morning, something we always look forward to, the RISE Ownership Awards, where we seek to actually honor and felicitate individuals and organizations who are making an impact in society in keeping with our RISE values. And to give us a little bit more information and to introduce us to these ownership awards, I'd like to invite Professor N. Vinod Chandra Menon, founder member of the National Disaster Management Authority, NDMA, Government of India, to tell us a little bit more about these awards. Professor Menon, thank you.
Thank you, Naresh. This is actually an extremely great privilege for me to announce the RISE Ownership Awards. The RISE Ownership Awards is a recognition of the special individuals who have undertaken exemplary initiatives for their communities and their constituents. Their inspiring example is truly representative of the ownership we need of the RISE values: responsible, inclusive, sustainable, and eco-friendly. The RISE values are drivers of positive actions that lead to purposeful lives and peaceful societies. Indeed, a better world and a greener planet. This year has been an unprecedented year, and everyone has done such incredible work that the Steering Council decided to look inwards to nominate those with whom IDOBRO and RISE had worked closely with, and also recognize not only the support received, but the truly outstanding work done by them. Hence, it was decided to select from the IDOBRO RISE ecosystem of associates. There are 3 types of roles that the ownership of the awards leads to. As a citizen who volunteers outside of their regular work, as an entrepreneur who finds solutions to a problem, and as a partner who together with others forms a consortium that delivers on a common purpose or goal. And today, we'll be announcing the RISE Citizenship Award and the RISE Partnership Award. The RISE Entrepreneurship Award will be presented at the closing plenary. And to announce the awards, may I request my co-steering council colleagues to do the honors.
Thank you, Professor Menon. To announce the RISE Citizen Award, may I now call upon our steering council member, Ms. Rajeshwari Chandrasekhar, Chief of Office, UNICEF, Maharashtra. Ms.
Thank you.
Chandrasekhar.
Thank you, Mr. Naresh. Good morning, and indeed, it was a very inspiring speech from all the thought leaders, and now is the time to actually give the honors away of to the Best Citizenship Award to none other than Mrs. Neeti Goel. To tell you who she is. She may not need much introduction, but however, I take this opportunity to talk to all of you. She is, of course, known as the Mumbai-based most successful restaurateur with restaurants like Ustad Madras Diaries, Madras Express, Noam, and that she also was awarded the 2019 Restaurant of the Year award. She has garnered, in addition to all of these awards, a lot of praise for her recent initiatives like Ghar Bhejo, which was co-founded with the actor Sonu Sood, and also Khana Chahiye during the COVID-19 pandemic. Her team provided food to over 4,500,000 distressed citizens during the lockdown. They also had officially adopted the Shramik trains, which originated from Mumbai, to provide food and other essentials to over 400,000 migrant laborers. From providing over 18,000 ration kits to families, those in need, setting up relief camps for hundreds of thousands of such migrant laborers who are walking back home, to providing them relief material even for the sex workers and for the women prisoners, adopting the stray cats and dogs during the lockdown, there has been no stopping for Mrs. Goel and for her team. This never-ending list will only reaffirm why Neeti Goel is the most deserving for this RISE Citizenship Award. It therefore gives me a great honor to present the RISE Citizenship Award to Neeti Goel. Congratulations, Neeti.
Thank you so much. Thank you to RISE Foundation, to the panel, and to the whole the program. And thank you so much for welcoming me and honoring me and bestowing this honor on me. I'm really, really humbled to receive this award. And thanks a lot to Karen. We have worked very closely in the pandemic, and I've seen how her team works, and they're just hands-on, phenomenal, working 24/7. There have been cases where we've been up almost till 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning and trying to handle migrants with pregnant women and small children and all sorts of medical emergencies, and the RISE team and the whole Jeevan Rath and the whole group of volunteers has been completely hands-on with all of that. So I appreciate the honor that has been given to me, and I want to really thank everyone for giving me this award and for thinking that I'm worthy of receiving such a big honor. And I assure you that whatever has been done will continue, and we'll keep doing whatever needs to be done to make this place a better world to live in.
Thank you, Ms. Goel. We absolutely congratulate you on this award, and we really look forward to all the wonderful miracles that you're going to make happen from now on as well. Congratulations once again. Thank you, Ms. Chandrasekhar, for doing the honors. And now to announce the RISE Partner Award, may I call upon none other than the Consul General of the Japanese Consulate in Mumbai, Mr. Harada Michio. May I please call upon Mr. Michio?
I'm very honored to be present, and I really enjoyed listening to the session before, and then the message from former Prime Minister's wife, Cherie Blair. I would like to present the RISE Partnership Award to the two key representatives, Ms. Nairika Holker, Executive Director, Godrej and Boyce, and Dr. Sangeeta Hansnell, Assistant Commissioner, Pune North Ward, for their efforts.
It's an honor and a privilege to accept this recognition on behalf of the entire Milker team, because it really has been a team effort. Akshat, Tanushka from you to them team, Radha and Anant and the RPG team, Ashwini and the Godrej and Boyce team, to Jeevan Rath, PwC and Keto for all the behind the scenes work, which really made the app come to life and enabled us to really do the audit process well. And our corporate partners, Godrej and Boyce, the RPG Foundation, JM Financial, and the Kirloskar Systems, and most of all to the people of Mumbai city who never failed to rise to the occasion. None of this would really have been possible without the tireless efforts of our NGO partners, IAHV, Magic Bus, Akshay Patra, Pratham, From You to Them, CRY, Yuva, and Salam Bombay, and Dr. Sangeeta Hasnale, her team of CDOs from the MCGM, who really went above and beyond the call of duty to ensure that food kits were delivered to the beneficiaries during the COVID-19 pandemic against all odds. They deserve the real recognition, and we hope that Milkar has made a small contribution to streamlining disaster management for the city of Mumbai, and we look forward to strengthening the power of ecosystems by many more such collaborations in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Holkar. Thank you, truly. I mean, the Milkar initiative literally lived up to its name, I guess, seeing the number of partners that have been involved cross-sector. Congratulations for the amazing work done. So thank you so much to all our award winners and to the dignitaries, but we would like you again to kindly stay on for a group photograph. So may I call upon, we have, of course, Ms. Nairika Holkar. May we ask also Niti Goel, Professor Vinod Chandra Menon, Ms. Rajeshwari Chandrasekhar, Mr. Harada Michio, Mr. Vineet Patni as well from a steering council, and Karan Shaiva to kindly be on standby for the picture. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes. And congratulations to the winners.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations to all our winners. Truly, you inspire us, and you actually keep all of us absolutely focused on the need to keep creating this impact and keep collaborating to achieve what we want to achieve in this world. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming almost to the end of this morning's opening ceremony. But before that, we got a very, very important task to perform. And that is actually to take you through these 2 days, the entire technical aspect of it, and to lead us through, all the options available. And for that, I would like to invite none other than Ashwini Kumar, Impact Head Digital Transformation at IDOBRO, who will familiarize you with this platform. She's had a big hand in putting this summit together, and she's going to give you a quick tour of this amazing platform that we are using so that you can take maximum benefit out of it over the next 36 hours. Ashwini, all yours.
So please, if you when you enter our summit, this is what you will see. This is the reception area. And you have some wonderful sessions that are coming up in the agenda page. So the one that is going on right now is the opening plenary that you can see. And then you have the next one that is coming up, the Roundtable Migrant Livelihoods. So you can see all of that here in the agenda. And the reception area, you have some, you have some featured agendas, like you see the one that is here from the feature sessions from the agenda. You have exhibitors here. And we have the partners page. Like you can see over here, you can go ahead and look at the different partners that are available. 1 second, I just have to move this away. Okay, and then you have the event feed. So we will. I'm sorry, what happened? So we have some event feeds that. Oh, I'm sorry, the technical glitch, I guess. And then we have we have a very nice chat table here. So yeah, and when you can see, you can go lounge around in this area. You can meet other people on the table, and sort of this table here is reserved for chat sessions. So we have some amazing chat sessions that are coming up as well. And we have a list of all the participants that you can see here. And you can sort of meet anyone that you want. You can send a request to meet, or you can chat with anybody directly. So this is our platform. Thank you so much for joining in. And if you have any questions, we will be at the in the lounge area here at the chat tables in the help desk area. So please let us know if you have any questions and we can help you. Thank you so much. Thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you, Ashwini. Thank you for holding this whole thing together technically. Like Ashwini said, every session will have the IDOBRO team out there. So if you're experiencing any difficulties, just reach out to them and they'll be more than willing to help you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before I call a formal end to the proceedings, I've just been informed that we have indeed with us Dr. Sangeeta Hasnale, Assistant Commissioner of the MCGM, who is a recipient of the RISE Partnership Award today as part of the Milkar initiative. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. This brings to a formal close this morning's proceedings, the opening ceremony of this amazing RISE Global Summit, virtual for the very first time, but that enabling us to actually reach out to 40 countries, participants across 40 countries, across 8 time zones, over 36 very, very exciting, interactive breakthrough hours. Now the hard work starts now. We encourage you and we welcome you to actually go in and join all the sessions that you are interested in between now and tomorrow night when we close this summit. Let there be a lot of learning, let there be a lot of collaboration, and let there be a lot of breakthrough interactions. Let us all rise together. Thank you and have a good morning.